Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, 𝗟rie Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started. Well, hello, you magnificent being. Thank you so much for being here. I am so happy and glad to share some time with you today. I'm a little sad the last few episodes I haven't been able to do on camera simply because of my time, working with time and timing. I've been on the road. I am in a relocation. I'm relocating again and mostly on the road driving and moving cross country. So it's just made it much more because of the circumstances of my life right now and the choices that I'm making in terms of relocating. I've been getting a lot of guidance on where I'm going next. I'll save that for another episode, but it's just made it easier to do the recordings through audio only. So please forgive me for not being with you on video right now, but I am so happy and glad to be here with you. And I want to today's going to be a little bit of a brief call together because I want to give you some help for following your guidance. And there's so many different ways to learn how to follow guidance and to get guidance and to develop your capacity to not only find guidance, but also to really understand how guidance works. I have tons of videos on this, by the way, on YouTube, but I want to give you the easiest, fastest way to start following your guidance in your life and your business. It is the easiest, fastest way to start. And if you don't already have this or haven't already learned this, this is where you begin. And if you have already learned it, it's an awesome reminder and it will continue to help you develop from here. Because if you don't have this basic down, you'll always miss the mark if you don't get this most basic step down. So you are consciousness, and your consciousness is made of different vibrations and frequencies. Those vibrations are made up of light and sound, right? We're all made up of light and sound, and all of that is comprised of energy. So consciousness is what's sort of at the root of who we are. Consciousness is made up of light and sound, and all of that is different forms, frequencies, wave frequencies of energy. So energy is often experienced by us. There's lots of different ways you can experience energy and energetic states of being. But overall, one of the fastest, easiest ways to begin to identify them is through your emotional guidance system, your inner state of emotional being, how you are experiencing things through emotions. Now, On an even more basic root core, you could just be like good versus bad, right? Ah, this feels good. Oh, this feels bad. Something just feels off. Something feels good, right? You can kind of break it down that way. But overall, you want to be a little more precise than that, right? You want to be able to understand emotional states of being. So, at the basic, overall, you want to move in the direction of things that tend to feel good. And when I say that they tend to feel good, I want to caution you here because this is not about indulgence in something unhealthy. Like it could feel good to eat ice cream, and that'll certainly set off a lot of dopamine in your brain and make you happy, but that's short term pleasure, right? We're not talking about that kind of good. We're not talking about something that's unhealthy for you. We're talking about recognizing that something feels good in the sense that there's some kind of positive expansion or up leveling through it. Okay. And we want you to generally move away from something that feels bad, right? This is so basic, right? But still, once you get this and we build on it. So, something that feels bad on the most basic level is a good example is you just feel like, ugh, that just doesn't sit right with me, or that just doesn't feel good. Now, I want to caution you with this too, because a lot of times there are some forms of growth that don't always feel good. A great example is you're about to join a mentorship program, or you're about to buy something that's going to help you grow, and you have to put the money down, and maybe that's a little scary. You're making an investment, or you're making a commitment to a program, or if it's not a program, maybe you're making a commitment to a relationship or to some kind of anything that feels a little bit scary. That is a different kind of feel bad. That's kind of an excitement that is a little bit scary, but you know is going to lead to a breakthrough, right? So you still have to develop a higher level of discernment. But at the most basic level, we're talking about following inner guidance that overall, feeling good, you're moving toward it. Feeling bad or tight or off or wrong, so to speak, you're moving away from it. And when I say moving, I mean the direction of your life and your choices. Now, let's break it down a little bit further here because this is an internal guidance system that everybody has. And it's not only is it basic, but it's necessary for you to build more and more intuition, intuitive development, and inner trust, inner self trust. So, what are the kind of feel bad states? You know these: guilt, shame, sadness, grief, sorrow, regret, remorse, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, disappointment, discouragement, boredom, irritability, impatience, anger. I think I mentioned resentment, grudge, feeling a grudge, feeling resentment, judgy, any form of judgy. The moment you go to judgment, you're judging someone or something as wrong. Okay. So judgment isn't the same thing as observation or awareness. I could observe something, and that's not me saying it's wrong or bad, right? Judgment is where we label it as wrong. And these states of the sort of like the contracted states that I'm describing here, these are the things generally you want to move away from, or recognize that if you're feeling them in some way, shape, or form, they are a form of emotional guidance. Okay. So these lower frequencies, other ones, impatience, irritability, jealousy, worry. Worry is a big one. We oftentimes, especially older generations, worry was considered to be a form of care, but really it's not. It's a form of fear, right? So any form of fear or worry, anxiety, stress, I said those. I talked about sadness, grief. Those are the kind of the watery. A big one, rage, extreme anger. Those are all states that we want to move away from. Now, all of these states are a form of guidance. For example, rage is what is telling you something is not right here. This, whatever's going on, something is not right. And it doesn't necessarily mean that another person is wrong necessarily and that you're right or you're wrong and they're right. It's not that, it's the guidance system saying something's misaligned here. So these states are states for us internally to somehow address and resolve, but to also recognize these are not the states that we want to be in, because those frequencies, those are energetic band waves. They will bring us the same kinds of experiences we're already experiencing. Another one, revenge. Oh, revenge, very bad, right? When I say bad, from a spiritually enlightened perspective, there's no wrongness. It's not bad. It's not wrong. But the whole idea of revenge is thinking that you can get someone else back and it's not going to affect you, because that's not the way the universe works. The energy that you put out is the energy that's going to come back to you. That is law. That's the way the energy works. So that's why you want to be aware of these kinds of experiences. These are the lower frequencies that we've just gone over. They're going to create more. So when I say revenge is bad, what I mean to say is not bad or wrong from a spiritually enlightened perspective. But if you try to get someone else, I'm laughing because I'm having a memory of something I once did, and I'll tell you about it in a moment. But if you try to get someone else, it will come back at you, because that's the way the energy works. That's the way energy works. What you send out, you are the cause based on what you're experiencing and feeling. And basically what you experience and feel radiates out from you, reflects out into the world, and comes back to you. These are laws of the universe: law of radiation, law of circulation, sub-laws. These are sub-laws: law of reflection and law of attraction, right? And law of compensation even says that the energy that you are is the energy you'll experience. So very, very important to understand these. The story I was going to tell you is that years ago, I worked with a very short-term, someone who just really was, for me personally, just horrible experience. And young guy, I trusted him. He was too young, too arrogant, too bold. And he was not prepared to work with someone of my caliber. Really, he wasn't. And I mean, he really did a number on me. He caused more pain and suffering than anything else. But I unleashed his karma on him. I don't recommend you do that to anybody, ever. I knew that I sat on his karmic board. I was in his Akashic records. I was in my own. I was very young at the time myself and did not understand. When I say young, I had not developed as much as I am now. And I unleashed his karma on him. I know it really affected him harmfully because I was on his karmic board. My job in this lifetime was to forgive him. But in any case, I became aware of how that hurt him, but I also knew that it hurt me too. I had to learn forgiveness. He was one of the people that was teaching me that, because he had done very harmful things to me and others this lifetime and others. That was his karma to work through. But me, I ended up meeting a lot of people I had to forgive. So I'm saying, please don't send bad things out to others. It will only come back at you in some way. Okay, these are the states you want to be aware of when you're feeling these things. They are guidance, right? If you're overwhelmed, it's guidance. It says you're doing too much. If you're disappointed, it's guidance. It's telling you you had false expectations or some kind of attachment. If you're bored, it's telling you I'm not aligned with what my true passion, mission, and purpose is. If you feel anger, it's because somewhere you have something you have to address or resolve within yourself. Well, all of these cases are like that, but anger is usually telling you there's been a misalignment, a misbalance. If you're impatient, you're not aligned with divine timing. You have to do healing on that. If there's jealousy, there's somewhere where you're not seeing your full potential. If there's worry, there's somewhere you're not in trust of the divine, the divinity within yourself, and the divine timing, right? If there's sadness or grief or sorrow, there's usually some form of forgiveness needed or some kind of resolution to bring more, some other lighter frequency. It depends on the range of that, but usually it's a calling for some kind of forgiveness or some kind of inner acceptance, right? It's a calling for something, right? If there's rage, that's almost always some kind of need, unmet need that has not been met. All of these are, by the way, unmet needs, right? Okay, I went through a few of those. Those are the things. And by the way, when they come up, again, I want to emphasize there's no wrongness. You're not wrong. Those are experiences of the third dimensional reality. Those are experiences of the unconscious who is becoming more conscious. They are experiences of the emotional body that are wanting to be addressed or resolved. So there's no wrongness. It's just that they're not really the feelings and the experiences that you really truly want to have. So the idea is those things need to be somehow addressed and resolved, which is what I do as a healer. And ultimately, as they are resolved, we move away from those energetically. And even in our actions and thoughts, we choose other thoughts and emotional states that are more aligned with the experiences we desire, more powerful emotional states of being. So let me go over some of those because those are the good ones, right? Those are the ones that make us feel good. Hope, divine hope, gratitude, grace, compassion, kindness, loving kindness. You might think kindness and loving kindness are the same, but they're not. There's kindness and there's loving kindness, gentleness, sweetness, peace, harmony, calm, curiosity and inquiry. Love those. Curiosity and inquiry. By the way, the opposite of curiosity and inquiry, in a sense, the polarized state would be skepticism, cynicism, doubt. I didn't say those before, but those are kind of more the negative ones, right? So curiosity and inquiry, open-minded inquiry. I wonder, what else is there to know? What else might there be? I'd like to know more, right? Courageous, developing courage, authenticity, feeling authentic, true, real, confident, excitement, feeling excited, optimistic, inspiration, inspired, feeling inspired, celebratory, feeling a celebration, excitement, enthusiasm. That's one I love, enthusiasm. These are all other states. Now, you may say, well, I don't feel those ways, but you might not be aware that you have the ability to change the way you feel, but you do. You do. And you may not normally know how to utilize those energies that you more desire, but I can reassure you, I can guarantee you that as you begin to cultivate those more powerful states, those more desired states, those kinds of emotional states that feel better, you will have and experience more of the results and the experiences in your life that are more like those. When in doubt, you can choose the easiest ones: gratitude, finding things not just to be grateful for through the brain, but feeling grateful, and grace, divine grace. And compassion is always a great one when you're dealing with the lower frequencies, right? Or peace or harmony, right? By the way, the world needs much more harmony. A lot of times we ask for peace, but what we really want is harmony, that we can just live in peace and harmony, get along, right? You don't have to agree with someone or agree with something else. You don't necessarily have to even like something else, but you can be in harmony with it because it's here and it exists, right? Okay, that's a slight diversion. But the idea is to understand when you're in these sort of more denser, heavier energies, something wants to be healed, addressed, and resolved. When you're in the purer frequencies that I mentioned, some of those, you're going to be moving in a direction energetically of what you desire more of. And the more you can get in touch with your own emotional guidance system, your inner guidance, your inner energy, and these are some examples, the more in tune you're going to be with your natural innate abilities to be more not only discerning for yourself, but to then further develop your own intuitive gifts. There's lots of different kinds of intuitive gifts. These are just one type and one form, but they are very important, kind of primal for your evolution and for you to move forward in life in a direction that you like, in a direction that you desire, and to experience more of what you want to experience. Because again, who you are being is what you are going to be experiencing. And what you are experiencing is based on who you are being. Who you are being is not entirely, but large lot of it is based on how you are feeling. So practice playing with this. By the way, we go into this a lot more, of course, in the Sacred Visionary Mentorship. And I teach how to work with these energies, how to call them in, how to cultivate them, how to bring them more and more into your energy field, how to utilize them in a conscious way. So if you'd like to know more, please let me know. You can reach out through the website at @𝗠RiSpagna.com or just direct message me or email me. I'd love to hear from you. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'd love to hear more and more from you about what you want to hear more about. But this is a good foundational step of understanding your own internal navigation system and how to more and more move in the direction of what you want and utilize and feel and experience more of what you desire. Stay tuned for a future episode where I'll teach you more about really helping you to call in more of the energies that you truly desire. I've done lots of this already, but there'll be plenty more to come. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off for now. I'm wishing you your most benevolent best. I'm sending you so much love. And okay, yeah, farewell for now, you magnificent being. Okay, lots of love. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.